Good morning and welcome to this morning's devotional on the word enterprise. And if you're anything like me, the first time you read that word, you paused and went, what does that mean? Until you read a little bit more and find out that the theological meaning behind that word is that we are, as Christians, to live a life that's aimed at pleasing God. And I think we intuitively know that is what we're supposed to do, but I think if you're anything like me, you struggle at doing it from time to time. Colossians 3:17 says, and whatever you do, whether word or in deed, do it all in the name of the Lord Jesus Christ, giving thanks to God the Father through him. And so there is a high call for us as Christians in order to think about the things we're going to say and think about the things we're going to do and aim at them to please God. And like I said already, if you're anything like me, you aim for that, but you fall short sometimes. But what I want to focus on today is a little bit of the heart behind pleasing God. Because I think there are some times that we do things that we aim to want to please God with what we are going to do or say, but sometimes we do them in hopes that maybe God would reciprocate or bless us in some way, shape, or form. We have a reinforcement system with our kids that we use this jar and then we fill it with cotton balls if we notice them doing something nice or say something nice to one another or clean their room or pick up after themselves. I mean, the basic things that kids should probably do. We don't give them a cotton ball every single time, but we do reinforce positive behavior in our house. But there was this one time that my daughter came in and she grabbed my hand and she brought me upstairs and she wanted to show me that she had cleaned her room, and she showed me where she put all her dresses and her stuffed animals and all that stuff. And I said, well, honey, this looks really great. And I left the room and I had this sense that Daddy must have missed something, because I turned back around and I looked at her and I said, Evelyn, did you clean your room in hopes that Daddy was going to give you a cotton ball? And she looks at me, as she adorably does, and she says, yeah. Now, we don't always give cotton balls for every single time we think our kids should do the basic bare minimum of the things they should be responsible for, but there are some times that we do. But my daughter in that moment thought to herself, well, if I clean my room, maybe my dad will give me something good. Now, was she doing that because she loved me, or is she doing it because she wanted to get something out of it? I remember the story that this preacher told one time about a farmer who has a crop of carrots, and he took what he thought was the best of that crop and he brought it to the king, and he gave it to the king and said, King, this is the best carrot from my crops. I want you to have it. And so the king took a bite out of it and said, this is delicious and wonderful. I want to give you 10 times more acres in order to build more of these crops. And his right-hand man, the king's right-hand man, was right there next to him and saw that this was profitable for the farmer. And so the very next day, this guy brought a stallion from his stable, and he said, King, this is the most majestic stallion from my stable. I want you to have it. And so the king took the horse and put it off to the side and said, thank you. And the right-hand man kind of stood there befuddled, and the king looked at him and he said, let me tell you what happened. Yesterday, the farmer gave me the carrot. Today, you gave yourself the horse. And so what I want to do is we close this time thinking about living a life that pleases God. When we go to do these things, do we have the right heart motives? Are we doing them because we love God? And I love this phrase from this chapter where J.I. Packer says that Christianity is a love affair. Yes, that when we do things to please God, it's not to get anything from God. We already got him. We're in a relationship with him. But it is to do it because he asks of us and that we love him. That our act of obedience is pleasing to God, and that is what gives us joy. So check your heart here this morning as I check mine about the things that we do and say in order to please God for God alone and not because he'll give anything to us. I hope this was helpful for you this morning. Have a blessed day.